Test of any motorhome. Yes, it is a 2-litre petrol. Now, before you go, ooh, I want a diesel, let's address that comment, which I get a lot with my customers that come onto the dealership. Maybe it's an age thing. Maybe because my customers are older, they've always had this belief drummed into them that, you know, if you're going to get something you're going to travel and it's got to be a diesel, you know, it's stronger and it's going to last longer and it's more powerful and blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying, okay? And no disrespect, but because I deal with a lot of different types of motorhomes on the yard, given maybe 15 years ago, yes, you were probably right. You know, the diesels were the way to go. With the modern technology that we have available to us now, and particularly with these units that are coming out of Japan, particularly with these 200 series Camroad units, they are utilizing the later next generation petrol engine. And I can imagine you're thinking 2-litre, well, that's not very big, and you know, it's not going to be powerful and so forth. Well, we're going to put this through the real-world test to show you that, in fact, it will keep up with pretty much anything on the road. The other advantage you're going to have is, and there's a few of them, but let's touch a couple of them. It's super quiet. Now, we've taken off with the lights. I'm at 60 now. So we have zipped. We're definitely keeping up with the traffic. There's a hill coming up here. Unfortunately, the cameras don't really allow you to see it. It's changed down gear nicely, and it's just powering up this hill. So the first thing is, yes, it's very, very quiet. The second thing which I like, and please don't think that I'm disparaging diesel engines, but the second thing that I like is when you fill the tank up on this, you don't smell like a diesel pump. You know what I'm saying. Now, being it's Toyota, first and foremost thought that should come into your mind is reliability. There's nothing more reliable on the planet as a Toyota. Now, we all know this. You couple that with this beautiful Corde Bunk motorhome, and with this 2-litre engine that's in this motorhome with the newer technology, the new generation engines, you're laughing. Super quiet, super smooth, incredibly comfortable, whether you're stuck in traffic or whether you're on the motorway. Now, we're going to go and put this one on the motorway because we want to show you, and this is one of the main questions that I get asked on our yard by potential customers. Will it cruise at 110 kilometers an hour? Well, how about you and I do a real-world test? And I'll be honest with you, this is the very first time that I'm going to put this motorhome on the motorway, because I like to do these videos having never driven the vehicles. So this is actually the very first time I've driven this vehicle. I've been looking at it for a little while, and I've been, you know, thinking about how we're going to discuss it in the video. But I think it's fair that both you and I have this real-world first-time test of these units. So let's get it on the motorway. We'll move the camera around so that you can see we are going to be doing 110 kilometers an hour. We'll be out to have a look at the revs as well. I will engage the overdrive. So these do have an overdrive on them. I mean, obviously you're not going to use the overdrive when you're driving around town because, as you know, it's always going to be hunting for that overdrive. It's always going to, the idea is to try and get to that overdrive as quick as possible. So you don't drive them locally. But when you get on the motorways, you absolutely engage the overdrive. So you and I together will discover what the rev count is when it's doing 110 kilometers an hour. jump on a motorway and only do that speed. Oh, that's right, we're in Australia.
3 days later.
So we saw the real world test right there at 110 kilometers an hour. The engine was just around the 3100 RPM. I apologize for the shakiness of the camera. That actually is my phone. I think it's time to replace it. But anyway, you did see what this motorhome was doing. I will say that at the time of filming that, we were buffeted with quite heavy winds here on the coast. In fact, filming it today, it is 35 degrees outside right now, which is another thing I want to talk about, is the air conditioning on these things are amazing. And it's lovely, it's cool, no sweating, it's just magnificent. It is just a total package, this thing. It is, I cannot fault it in any way, shape or form. Like all the other motorhomes, the other 200 series that we're bringing out from Japan, they are magnificent. Especially when you compare to what your money will buy in Australia with other types and other brands of motorhomes. This one that I'm driving at the moment, it does have, and you would have seen on the footage, it does have 119,000 on the clock. It is a 2006 model, but if you were to go and find a 2006 motorhome that's here in Australia, 9 out of 10 times it's going to have 200,000 plus kilometers on it. And if you put them side by side, this thing looks brand new, as opposed to the one that's been in Australia its whole life. And obviously there's various reasons for that. I mean, a lot of it does come down to the person maybe that's owned it, not always, but you've got to remember that this person has driven a lot of kilometers because Australia is so big. And as I've said in the past, Japan is about the same size as New Zealand, but 90% of the country is mountains. So their abilities to be able to travel vast differences like we can here in Australia just does not exist, which is why these units are in such beautiful condition, why they're genuine low kilometer motorhomes. And as I've said in other videos, the Japanese take care of what they own, whether they're using them or not. If they're not using them, that's fine. You can look in the service books. They've serviced them when they were due to be serviced. As I've said again in other videos, they can't own a vehicle, particularly in the cities, if they have nowhere to park it off the street, because the roads are so narrow in Japan, unlike Australia, where we have parking lanes on our roads. They just don't. So there's all of these things combined, and my favorite one, of course, is you would never be allowed to wear your shoes in the back of the motorhome. Unlike us here in Australia, we just tromp right in. Never happens in Japan. But that's just part of their culture. So let's have a look at one of the outside cabinets here, doors. This one accesses the rear of the toilet. On this particular model, it has a portable toilet, but most of them will have the built-in toilets. But this is designed to access the cassette area of the toilets. If your Camroad has a shower inside, then you can grab the shower, you can pull it outside and have an outside shower. And my favorite thing to say, the best thing to say about these is if you are somewhere private, you've got a room with a view. So this one on the side of the driver's part is where we put our fuel in. Part of the Australian compliance with our motorhomes is, of course, the 240 volt power in. So the main rear storage on these Camroads is through the back hatch, and you also have access to the side hatch as well. Good width in the opening here. You can store a lot of things inside these Camroads. So the side access to the rear storage is here. This is a feature of the Corde Bunk model, is that you have access to the top of the bottom bunk, but also the storage underneath. Now you'll notice a couple of canisters here. Pretty much every Camroad that comes out has at least a 25 litre freshwater drinking capacity in the rear, which is really nice to have. Now this container here, which is on the passenger side of the motorhome, you can use it for several purposes. This particular model has got an outside shower in it, but most will actually use this as the gas storage. So if your motorhome and you want gas on board for your hot water system and so forth, this is where the gas canisters will sit. One really important feature about these Camroads, key to like. One key opens and closes every single hatch on the motorhome. Which I know a lot of you will go, thank goodness! Nothing worse than having a motorhome and you've got 50 keys that open up different hatches. Please have a look at our website. Go to www.toyotacamroad.com.au. We are a Toyota Camroad dealership. We are a physical dealership on the Gold Coast. We have been on the Gold Coast for over 25 years. In fact, there's our dealership right behind us, right there. Just went past it. So you can come down to the dealership and you can meet me and you can meet the staff. If we have one of these Camroads in stock, you can touch it, you can feel it, you can take it for a drive in it, you can drive it, and you'll agree that everything I'm telling you in this video is 100% truth. So our physical address is 170 Brisbane Road, Arundel. If you're not from the Gold Coast, we have a big shopping centre on the Gold Coast called Harbour Town Shopping Centre. It's the second largest shopping centre on the coast. You cannot miss it. Our dealership is the big dealership right on the corner. In fact, we are on the busiest intersection on the entire Gold Coast. So 170 Brisbane Road, Arundel. Put it in your GPS, come and see us, and come and talk about these amazing Camroads. If you do purchase from us as a dealership, we do offer a lot of other elements to the buying process. We are very happy to look at all trades. We are very happy to help and assist you with any potential financing needs on every single one of these Camroads that we sell. We do apply a comprehensive, it's a top of the line, fully comprehensive 5-year national warranty. So we work with some fabulous warranty companies. They're very comprehensive. It covers all of your mechanical running gear and everything that's in the back of the motorhome. Your fridge, your hot water system, your solar systems, all covered by this top tier warranty. That's included with every single purchase. When it gets to our dealership, it goes through a $1,000 complete full detail. And I'm talking about some of the best detailers in the country. They get into these things with a toothbrush. They literally get into every nook and cranny. So when you pick your motorhome up, it smells beautiful, it looks beautiful, it drives like a brand new motorhome. You've got your warranty. Fantastic. Now you're not going to get that from a lot of other places. And you're certainly not going to get that if you're buying motorhomes from a private seller. So back to the motorhome, again, I can't say this enough, very, very comfortable. You know, I'm very confident driving this, regardless of whether you're a single lady traveler or a single man or a couple or a family, because remember, we can get these things seat belted for up to 6 people, because amazing enough, it will in fact sleep 6 people. I mean, it's a very close 6 people, but it still does sleep 6 people. So whether you're any of these types of travelers, you're going to be extremely confident. You feel very safe and secure, knowing that you are in a very reliable motorhome that's constructed so magnificently. If all I ever had was a dealership full of these Toyota Camroads, I'll be more than happy. I'll be more than happy. So, as I've mentioned before, they're very, very, very easy to park. Let's put one in a parking spot right now. So So imagine that we are in a shopping centre and we've got a normal sized car park, and in we go. This is a lot of motorhome for the dollars. Let's talk about the dollars. Obviously, it's the most common question we have. How much are they? Okay. We've developed a system where we source these vehicles based upon your budget. Obviously, there is a minimum, anything under, realistically, anything under $80,000 is not probably going to get you into one of these. Not a nice one. Because you've got to remember, we've got to source the motorhome, we've got to pay the taxes, we've got to purchase the motorhome, then there is shipping, then when it gets into Australia, yes, there are more taxes. It then has to go into its compliancing, so it has to be turned into an Australian motorhome. There are various things that need to be done to these motorhomes to enable it to get an Australian roadworthy, to then enable it to be registered in Australia. So all of these things add up. So I would budget around about north of $80,000. Now, of course, the more north you go, the newer the motorhome, possibly even a different type of motorhome, all from Japan, the better the motorhome. But we would never ever put anything on a boat that we have not first had it checked thoroughly by our agents in Japan. And we're not talking about just a quick walk around. Our guys in Japan, which I've done business with for well over 20 years, they crawl under them. They get under the chassis. They look at them virtually through a microscope. Because obviously they don't want to send us something that we're going to be disappointed in, because they want to continue to do business with us. But they're our eyes and ears on the ground in Japan. And we trust them implicitly. So we know that once they've said, look, here's a couple of motorhomes that are available, we would then say, okay, pick the best one of those three. They will send us lots of photographs, lots of information about it. We'll then share that information with you and select the best one available. And then, of course, it then goes through its process of then being turned into an Australian complied motorhome. So, coming back to the Corde Bunk. Again, a beautiful, comfortable, very easy to drive, very easy to maneuver motorhome. Just like the Zil 520 and the Skip 480, Corde Bunk is a user-friendly car license. Park it absolutely anywhere you want. Park it in the shopping centres. No stress, no fuss, plenty of confidence when you're driving down the road. The other thing is you are high up, so you are above the traffic, the other cars, so you get this wonderful perspective of what's in front of you when you are driving around Australia. You just feel lovely in this motorhome. Now I'm not shouting. There's no squeaks. There's no rattles. Currently we're doing 80 kilometers an hour. If I engage the overdrive at 80, we went from 3,000 RPMs. Now we're down to 2,100. It's pretty good overdrive. But it's quiet. There's no wind noise. There's nothing. And if I wasn't recording right now, I would have the radio on and I'd be listening to my favorite tunes as I'm relaxing and cruising around this amazing country that we have. You really honestly do not feel like you are driving a truck at all. The suspension is amazing, incredibly comfortable. You can definitely drive great distances in this motorhome and not feel like you've been fighting the motorhome. you're quite relaxed when you do get to your destination. One of the really cool things about these 200 series Camroads, they're all automatics. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm a slightly older gentleman. I've driven manuals quite a bit in my life, but I'm thinking if I want to travel around Australia, I want to sit back. I want to listen to my music. I want to chill out. I don't want to be changing gear. That's the thing about these Camroads. It'll do it for you. It's a miracle. Every one of them's an auto, baby. Gotta love that. Come and visit our website, www.toyotacamroad.com.au. There you will find this Corde Bunk, you will find the Zil 520, and you will find the Skip 480. Now, I'm going to have a quick conversation to you that is watching this video that has been procrastinating, traveling for a while. You know who you are. Whatever your situation is in your life, stop procrastinating. It's been scientifically proven that when you travel, you change metaphysically. You get younger, healthier, because you're forced to look ahead. You're thinking ahead. If something traumatic's happened in your life and you're sitting in one place, in your home, your apartment, and you're thinking about the past, you're fermenting. The only thing that should be fermenting is wine, not human beings. Get out amongst it, start living. I promise you, within 4 to 6 months of you traveling out on the road, you're smiling, you're beaming, you're happy, you're jumping for joy. Your life has changed. And remember, you're not alone on the road. You could be on one of these fabulous Toyota Camroads, and guess what? There's nearly 1 million other people out on the road in Australia that are also loving life. The nomad community is fantastic. I know so many of them, and I deal with them every day. They're beautiful human beings. If you're sitting there, you're procrastinating, you can't make a decision, stop it. Slap, slap, slap. Get off your bum, come down to the dealership, come and see me. Let's go for a drive on a Toyota Camroad. Let's get your life rebooted. Let's get restarted. Come down, go for a drive. After you've taken a test drive, come back and talk to me, and you'll be smiling from ear to ear. The heart will start beating. You'll start thinking about, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I'm actually going to go and do it. And go! Come visit our dealership. We're at 170 Brisbane Road, Arundel, opposite Harbour Town Shopping Centre on the Gold Coast. We're very, very easy to find. Come and have a look at the Toyota Camroad 200 series. Come for a test drive. Let's get the ball rolling together. My name is Paul Stevens. It's been a pleasure presenting this to you. You can tell I love what I do for a living because I help people realize dreams. I help people become happy. And one of the greatest investments in the world you will ever make in yourself is a motorhome. I look forward to seeing you again. Take care.